Welcome everyone to another session on Current Affairs by Civil 360 IS Academy. In this session, we will be discussing about the PRAHAR Strategy. So, the Ministry of Home Affairs has for the first time given a clear, comprehensive strategy to tackle terrorism in India, right? And the strategy is named PRAHAR. So we need to understand what PRAHAR actually means and what are the agencies and institutions actually involved. Okay, so this is for the first time a strategy of similar effort has been taken by the government of India, right? So the first important thing is that it is the first ever strategy on counter-terrorism by the government of India. Second important point, it has been formulated by the Ministry of Home Affairs. Okay, and now let's see what the strategy actually stands for. Okay, so if you look at PRAHAR, you need to know what each of the letters actually stands for. And just before we get into this, the policy document is very small. It's like about 8-9 pages only. You can just read through fastly, just quickly read through it. You will get some general idea as well. Like for example, the strategy clearly acknowledges the threat of state actors. Okay, so cross-border terrorism has been acknowledged as a main factor of causing terrorism in India. Second, it has explicitly recognized the threat from CBNRED, the threat from these kind of these avenues. Okay, so this actually refers to chemical, biological, nuclear, radiological, explosive and digital systems. So these what are the sources of, or different techniques and methods of terrorism has been acknowledged in the policy. So the policy has been formulated keeping these ideas in mind. Okay, so just keep that context in mind. Even for the mains aspect, in internal security, in GS3, you need to mention this strategy. Okay, measures taken or way forward, it has to be mentioned because it's a very comprehensive strategy. Now, P actually stands for prevention. Okay, so prevention of terror attacks. Okay, so for this it actually gives a responsibility to two nodal agencies. They are the Multi-Agency Center and the Joint Task Force on Intelligence. Both is actually established under the Intelligence Bureau. So Intelligence Bureau, it is the oldest intelligence agency in the world, right? It was established in 1887. Right, even before independence. It's an executive body, it's not a statutory body. It is exclusively focused on domestic intelligence. Okay, foreign intelligence is handled by RAW. Right, so Multi-Agency Center, which was established in 2001 after the Kargil Review Committee report, it ensures intelligence. So to ensure prevention, it ensures that the strategy tries to build the intelligence network through nodal agencies. So it is the responsibility of the Multi-Agency Center and the Joint Task Force on Intelligence to ensure that the various agencies, okay, law and order, public order agencies in India has the intelligence to tackle terrorism. Okay, so their duties are actually to combine the intelligence from various organizations, from the NIA, from the Defense Intelligence Wing, from RAW. Okay, aggregate all these intelligence using NatGrid and others and make them available to the agencies. Okay, then you have Multi-Agency Center at the central level. At the state level, you have subsidiary multi-agency centers as well. The Joint Task Force of Intelligence also tries to build the capabilities of state agencies. Okay, so that is for prevention. Okay, the next is actually for response. Okay, response. And the response has to be swift and proportionate. Okay, and the main nodal agency for response is actually the National Security Guard. The National Security Guard, established in 1984, it is a statutory force after Operation Blue Star. It is actually, the members are actually recruited from the Central Reserve Police Force. So it's actually part of the Central Armed Police Forces in India under the Ministry of Home Affairs, and they are the nodal agency for response. Although the first response will be by local police, right? But the primary response, a military grade response, will be given by NSG. Okay, NSG. And who will handle the the investigation, the prosecution aspect? It will be NIA. Okay. The next important pillar is actually aggregating internal capacity. Okay, aggregating internal capacity. Okay, that is, you need a particular agency to train your officers, okay, to modernize your officers, okay, to professionalize them, to bring all these kind of factors. And the main agency for this purpose is actually the Bureau of Police Research and Development, okay, established in 1970, again under the Ministry of Home Affairs. Okay, so the Bureau of Police Research and Development. Okay, Police Research and Development. So aggregating internal capacity. Okay, so the next pillar is actually H. H actually stands for Human Rights and Rule of Law based processes. So the strategy says that India has signed various international conventions on human rights, right? UDHR, ICCPR, ICESCR, all those things. So apart from the Convention Against Torture, India has ratified all those human rights conventions. So the processes under this strategy will be along with will be in line with the rule of law and the respecting human rights. And the primary legislation is UAPA 1967 and the BNS provisions as well. Okay, so there will be, this aspect is also there in the strategy. Okay, the next strategy is regarding, okay, so we discussed aggregating of internal capacities. Then we had human rights and rule of law processes, and this is actually attenuating. Attenuating means weakening the factors conducive to terrorism. Okay, like for example, finance, okay, or for what you can say, over the ground workers, right? So all these kind of factors actually breed terrorism, right? The link between organized crime and the black hole idea, right? So we need to tackle the finance flowing into it. We need to tackle organized crime. Okay, so that is the focus in attenuating conditions actually, that attenuating conditions, factors conducive to terrorism. Okay, so that is an important aspect. Then the focus is on, okay, so the focus is on okay, so the next focus is on aligning and shaping international efforts. So most terrorist attacks involve the state actors, cross-border terrorism, even non-state actors in other jurisdictions. So we need an international effort. So that is also made part of our strategy. Okay. The next strategy involves response and resilience. Okay, response and resilience. Okay, so that is basically, we are trying to tackle the radicalization aspect. Okay, so radicalization usually it is not tackled as a reactive manner. A counter-radicalization approach is adopted using the whole of society approach. Whole of society. Okay, whole of society approach. So this is a comprehensive strategy wherein, so if you look at the life cycle of a terror attack, right? So a terror attack, it actually, first step is obviously radicalization, then it involves recruitment, then it involves preparation, right? Then it involves what you can say as mobilization, and then the terror attack, then amplification, then you have normalization, or what we call as regeneration, and then again back to square one, right? So this strategy, it tries to counter radicalization by whole of society approach. It makes use of NGOs, informal networks, okay, and all those educational aspect, community awareness. Okay, so that's a societal issue, right? So a societal method is used. Okay, then to tackle recruitment, okay, we have intelligence agencies are there. Okay, strong intelligence network are being built, internal capacity is being improved. Again, preparation, all these are tackled by that legal aspect, okay, institutional aspect. Okay, then you have mobilization, again tackled through strengthening the internal capacity, improving the surveillance and all those things. Okay, then you have the terror attack, you have immediate military grade response. Okay, military grade response. And to prevent amplification, we again uses our NIA, we uses legal aspects, okay, to create a deterrence. All those things are. So it tries to tackle the terror attack in a what kind of manner? In a life cycle manner. Okay, so important, you need to know about the PRAHAR strategy, you need to know what each of the components and which is the agency associated with them, and a little bit about the agency as well. Okay, that's all in this session. Thank you.